Hello everyone, Mr. E here this evening, and I want to talk to you about two things tonight. The first is the in-game event that is currently going on. If you're unaware, this event is called Admonition Ascendant. You can see it over there on the right side of the screen, and what it revolves around is completing these missions. The ones with little crucis markers on them. These have dark rituals in them, air quotes, dark rituals. These dark rituals are totems in the map. They're like, like pillars. They're like as tall as the Ogren, kind of skinny. And when allies, when enemies are near them, they are being healed by them pretty rapidly. So you got to break them, and when you do break them, you get some skulls. And these skulls also drop from various enemies around the map. Usually, the 3 totems that spawn will drop you 750 combined, and then the enemies altogether will drop you about another 150. So you can see I played about 4 hours tonight with members of my stream. Hey, come check out our stream sometimes, Tuesday, Friday, and Saturdays at 6 p.m. Eastern, and we just had a good time and got about halfway through the event, halfway through the top tier. So we got like to 6,636 skulls. Now, that's cool and all. The real cool part about this event is that these missions are like Havoc light. I thought I was going to be bored to tears grinding this all night, but actually there's a good level of challenge here. It spawns lots of bosses. You'll get tandem like captains at some time, not twins, but there'll be 2 captains at once, or there'll be 2 big bosses at once. Yeah, it seems like they kind of up the challenge level for this a little bit, and I like that. I like that a lot. That's definitely a good thing to keep players engaged, especially considering they know that there's players who normally play Havoc and are probably be very snooze fest trying to go back and play Orc Damnation to get this progressed. The other really cool thing about this event is that when you complete the top tier of it, I mean, of course, the second to top tier is the little expected the little thing that goes next to your profile picture there, whatever that's called. That's kind of the meme at this point, that's always what's on offer for the reward. But the top tier is Aquilas, 500 Aquilas. And I expect, this is my expectation from now on, Fatshark, so I'm setting the bar here, right? This needs to be the gold standard. This needs to be the standard for all events going forward. So I don't know if Fatshark is listening, or if you out there as viewers can spread this message to them by going and ranting on the forums, but they need to know that this is the best event they've done so far. One, because the quality of the actual in-game effects is cool, but 2, because that reward is an actual incentive. No one cares about the little doohickey that goes next to their portrait. People do care about 500 Aquilas. Listen, it's going to take me 6 to 8 hours to grind this out, and I'm going to make 500 Aquilas out of it, which is $250 US. Okay, that's poverty wages in like China. That's horrible, but it's actual currency, and like I can use it for something that's actually cool in the game, as opposed to more of the same currency that I have literally millions of. So this is what I'm saying, Fatshark, is giving small amounts of your premium currency to players who are engaging with your game frequently and a lot, and for long periods of time, is a win-win for all parties considered, right? Those players who are willing to sit down for 6 to 8 hours and grind this out, and players who complete Havoc 40 every week without fail, those are your dedicated players. And almost without exception, those are the players that are more likely to come to the Commodore's Vestures and make purchases, right? Those are the players who are invested in this game and therefore want to invest in the game. So those two things go hand in hand. Feeding them a little bit of premium currency isn't going to break the bank, right? We're only doing these events like once every month, once every 2 months. If you give players 250 of fake, it's not real money to Fatshark, right? It's just premium currency that they make up the value of. If you give players a little trickle of that every now and then, yes, occasionally it will bump them over the threshold. Like I have 500 right now. When I get this 500, say that I wanted to purchase this resolver harness, now I'll have enough, and I won't have to go and pull out the credit card and piss my mommy off because I used her credit card again without asking her, right? But for many players, it'll be the only 500 Aquilas they have, and maybe they want this sword for this terrible weapon, right? The skin for the Devil's Claw, right? Or something else that's in the store. And having that little bit will encourage them to pull out the credit card and spend. So this is a win-win. It makes players feel like they're getting something real in the same way that if you played Warframe, right, it always feels good to sell your excess stuff off for platinum, because platinum is a premium currency that you can buy literally anything with in that game, and that is obviously very valuable. So it feels good to be playing the game for some real benefit. I can get the skins that I want if I keep playing, yada yada. There's a progression system there, and at the same time, it's a win for Fatshark because almost certainly it's going to drive a good percentage of players who would otherwise not have made a purchase to make a purchase. And I don't see anything wrong with that either. That's just capitalism, baby. And also, just very nicely and conveniently of them, they have taken the first page of each of their things and they've lowered a weapon to be 500 Aquilas so that players can purchase it for the free money that they're getting if they complete this thing, which I think is very nice of them. The other thing I want to talk about is Commodore's Vestures in general. As you can see, if you've just been very observant here, it has had a slight overhaul in this recent patch, and I think that this, just like I just spoke about the event for this week, this needs to be the new expected norm for the Commodore's Vestures. A complaint I've had about this thing for a very long time now is that we have upwards of 30, probably closing in on 40 full cosmetic suits for each class now, and that means that at any given week there is only like 3 of those available. It's like 10% of those are available for each class or less per each week. And it's not egalitarian. It doesn't rotate through them all equally. It shows the ones that are more favored to as far as like sales more often. So if you happen to have what some would consider bad taste and you're trying to look out for a particular outfit that you haven't seen in a while, well, good fucking luck. So what they have done now is that when you look at the main page, this is always as it is normally, right, where you have these 4 that are featured. But when you go to each class's page, they have featured 4 more for that class that are fan favorites from the past. So of course it's covered with Krieg stuff, right? But you also have this bumblebee looking thing. I don't understand what this is about, and I don't understand what this flight suit is about. But yeah, these are fan favorites for the veteran. These are fan favorites for the zealot. That makes sense to me, and this is what I'm encouraging Fatshark to do. Keep this feature, and every week, instead of having it be every 2 weeks, can we just get a rotation every week, please? First of all, every week have these 4 change to another 4 that are all themed around the same thing. There are certainly enough that you can show these 4, and these are just the full outfits, right? There's no weapons or anything, right? And then these other 3 pages are just like it was before, where there's an additional outfit that might be less famous, and then weapons and accessories and stuff off to the side. So I think this is what I would expect Fatshark to be doing going forward for both of these mechanics. I think this is a great new look for the way they're monetizing the game, right? They're giving players more access to purchase things, which is something that players have been griping out for a long time. I still don't quite understand why they don't just have a big old list of things that players want. This is aesthetically pleasing, I'll say. Like, having this look like this, it does encourage me. I get a better look at it than having a big long list, I suppose. So I'll give them that. But this is definitely an improvement over having literally 1/4 of the selections in the shop. And as for the event is a huge improvement over prior events, because that is a real incentive. I know it's poverty wages, as I said, but that's a real incentive, and I would like them to extend that incentive structure to other things. Hint hint. Havoc. Make Havoc do not 500 Aquilas, but make Havoc do a small payout for completing your ranks every week. And I guarantee you that this system, this Havoc system, will be full of parties, at least for part of the week, rather than dying on the vine like it is currently. So let's give players, since players are eager to engage with this event, since it's offering real incentives, offer those same incentives to players who are willing to take on the challenges of Havoc, and it's a win-win for all concerned. Okay, that's all I had to talk about tonight, guys. I hope you're having a good time with the event. come check out my stream tomorrow, 6 o'clock Eastern, if you want to play some with me, and I'll see you then. Bye.